Hello, I welcome you all to this wonderful lesson, which is more like a game. So those of you under my online lessons, every week, any parts that I'm going to leave out, I want to see your answers in my inbox. So it's more like a game, so I guess you are going to enjoy this. First thing I'm going to start with is digestion before I look at this thing that is here, which is function of the liver and mode of action. So digestion, you know that is the breaking down of food substances into smaller ones. And you need to know that digestion in mammals, whenever we are talking about digestion in mammals is divided in two ways. So it is divided in what? Is divided in two ways. There is what we call physical digestion. So there is what we call physical digestion as well as chemical digestion. These are two things that you have to understand. So physical digestion, this is the mastication by the teeth. So physical digestion, this is what we get to call mastication. So you get to call it mastication by what? By teeth. And this mastication by teeth, you need to understand this is the rolling action by the tongue. So it is the rolling action by the tongue. We can term it as peristalsis. And the chemical digestion, you need to understand that this is action by digestive enzyme. Action by what? Action of digestive enzymes. So action of digestive enzymes. So there are certain enzymes that you are supposed to know. The enzymes that is found in saliva is called amylase. I guess you know that one. So aside knowing this, we are looking at the liver. So let us now go to the liver, the main thing that we are looking at in this particular lesson. I guess we are moving together. We are revising through these things together. So I want you to know and understand that food substances absorbed in the capillaries in a valley move to the liver for assimilation. So they move to the liver for what? They move to the liver for assimilation. This is what I want you to understand. So the food that are absorbed in the capillaries, they move in the capillaries in vary, move to the liver for assimilation. So they move to the liver for assimilation. And you also need to understand that liver plays an important role in the metabolism, homeostasis, and excretion. So I'm saying that this thing called a liver, this one gets to play a major role or plays an important role. It gets to play an important what? An important role in what? One, we get to talk of what? Metabolism. So I will say metabolism. We also need to understand in homeostasis. There's what we call homeostasis, something like this, homeostasis. If I'm not mistaken about the spelling, homeostasis, like this. So you can correct me on that if the spelling is not right. And I've also talked about what? Excretion, like this. So a liver plays some important role in these three things: metabolism, homeostasis, and excretion. You also need to understand that the function of the liver can be classified into 5 major groups. So in as much as we know that the liver has got a lot of functions, so those functions can be classified into 5 groups. So I'm going to say classification. So I'll say classification of the function of the liver. Classification of groups of the function of the liver. So I'll just say classification of the what? Function of the liver. So this is something you need to understand. Function of the what? function of the liver. So function of the liver. So I've told you that they can be classified into five groups. This is what I've told you. So they can be classified into 5 groups. These 5 groups, number 1, we need to understand them in terms of what? In terms of metabolic function. So in terms of metabolic function, 2, we get to talk of circulatory function. So in terms of circulatory function, 3, we can talk of excretory function. So excretory function. We also have the 4th one, which is the protective function. So all these are protective functions. And the last one that you have to understand, we get to call it hematologic function. So these are what? Functions of the liver. So all those functions, in as much as we are saying that the liver has got a lot of functions, so those functions can be classified in 5 groups. We get to talk of metabolic functions, circulatory functions, excretory functions, protective function, hematologic functions. So this is what I want you to understand. This is where the exercise is starting from. So I'm going to look at a function. I'm going to talk about a function, and here I'll be talking about a mode of action. So mode of action. This is what I want us to do. So the first one that I'm going to start with is called metabolism. So it is called metabolism. Metabolism of glucose. Metabolism of what? Of glucose. Metabolism of glucose. You need to understand that metabolism of glucose, you will get to talk of, we get to convert. What do we convert? We convert excess. What do we convert? We convert excess glucose to what? To dash. I want the answer there. So which one do we convert whenever we are talking about metabolism of glucose? We convert glucose to what? And in this process, you discover that we get to maintain, there is maintenance. We get to maintain constant. What do we maintain? We maintain constant glucose level in the blood. Glucose level in the blood. This is what we get to do. So that is a work for you. Don't forget that work. Those of you that are interested in tuitions, you need to WhatsApp me on WhatsApp on my number, which is +26 0971 066747. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook using the name, this same name, Harrison J. Zuru Tutor. So these are the questions. Question number 2, those of you guys under my online lessons, I want you to answer. So this is exercise 1. You tell me the answer. We convert excess glucose to what? So you tell me the answer. I'll be waiting for your work. The next one, we get to talk of what? We get to talk of metabolism. So we get to talk of metabolism of amino acid. Metabolism of amino acids. So you understand that here we get to do what? We get to say diaminite. We dynamite excess what? Excess amino acid to what? Excess amino acid. So excess amino acids and glucose. So excess amino acid and glucose produce what? Produce and glucose. So I will say diamanite. So I will say diamanite excess amino acid and produces, to get to produce what? And produces. So I want the answer here. So diamanite excess amino acid we get to do what we call diaminite, excess amino acid, and produces what? You tell me the answer there. So tell me the answer that we get to have there. The other thing that I want you to understand, there is also, so this is where we are going to end from. Let me just give you these two questions. The other thing that you need to understand, there is what we call production of bile. These are the functions of the liver. So production of what? Production of bile. You discover that we get to break down old red blood cells and make bile. This is what you need to understand. When we are talking about detoxification, we get to destroy poisons, alcohol, and bacteria. We also need to understand there is storage of minerals. So if I tell you what minerals are stored in the liver, there is we get to have iron, copper, potassium. If there is also storage of vitamins, vitamin A and D. There is also production of heat. You need to understand that there are many chemical reactions in the liver that produces a lot of heat, which is used in maintaining the body temperature. So I want you to understand all these things. So I've given you these two work. This is a work that I'm expecting of you to submit in my inbox. Those of you that are under my online lessons, you have enrolled and you are not removed in the group. For those of you that wants to join me, you want to start tuitions, this is my number. So you get to WhatsApp me on this number. This is the number you get to use, so you can use this number. This is my number. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook using the same name. So don't forget to follow me on Facebook using this Facebook page name. So just the way it is like this, Harrison J. Zuru Tutor. This is my official names on all the platforms. So I'm requesting of you to follow me on Facebook so that each content that I get to upload there, you will be able to see that content. So I want us to move together. I want us to enjoy every subject that I get to teach together. So I'm waiting for these two answers. I want the answer for that one and an answer for this one. If you are not under my online lessons, you can comment in the comment section. I just see the number of people that are following and the number of people that know how to answer these two questions. So these are the two questions here. Eliminate excess amino acids and produces what? You tell me the answer. Under metabolism of amino acids and metabolism of glucose, here we convert excess glucose to what? This is to maintain constant glucose levels in the blood. So this is what I want us to look at. These are the questions that I want us to practice through. So let's see how we are going to answer these. You submit in my inbox if you are under my online lessons.